Hi, welcome back to my channel. Thank you for watching and for subscribing. And if you're just visiting, please consider subscribing. So it's time for another haul. I have made some purchases that I'm going to share with you today. They're not that many, so I don't think this video is going to be very long. In general, the last probably month and going forward, I really have been trying to cut down on my purchasing for numerous reasons, one of which is that my collection is getting too large and I really want to be able to use and enjoy all the fragrances that I have. And so there will still be hauls on my channel, but I don't think there will be quite as many, or maybe they won't be quite as large as they have been in the past. But let's start going through the fragrances that I've purchased in the last, I don't know, month or so. Now, if you watched my latest wish list video, then you will know that I have been really getting into smoky tobacco types of scents, and I've shared with you 3 that were on my wish list. There was Side Effect from Initio, there was Shergy from Serge Lutens, and Harriet from Parfums de Marly. And I have purchased a tobacco fragrance. Which one do you think I went with? Well, if you guessed none of the above, you would be correct. I decided to go with Tobacco Vanille from Tom Ford. Don't ask me why, that's just how it happened. So this is the packaging. I got a little baby 30 ml, which I think is fine for me for now. Here it is. And this is a fragrance that I sampled when Nisha sent me some samples from her collection to try. And this was the one that I really fell in love with and just had to have a bottle of. So the notes in here are tobacco leaf, spicy notes, vanilla, tonka, cacao, tobacco blossom, dried fruits, and woody notes. And so when I smell it, I definitely get tobacco, but it's not very strong tobacco. So maybe it's more like tobacco blossom. I definitely get some sweetness. So there is a vanilla, there is dried fruits, but more than dried fruits, I'm really getting a cherry vibe in here. So it's like tobacco and cherry liqueur. It is definitely woody. There is some spiciness in here. It is really, really beautiful. Definitely unisex. Both men and women can wear it. And I'm really happy with this purchase. Does it mean I won't get any other fragrance with a strong tobacco note? Maybe something else from my wish list? I don't know. It's possible. Possibly I will get one more. I don't know. But for now, I'm quite happy with this purchase. I'm really enjoying it. And so Tobacco Vanille from Tom Ford was my choice for tobacco fragrance. And that's what I ended up purchasing. Next one is another purchase from Atelier des Ors. As you know, I already have Lune Feline and Choir of Angels, and I decided to purchase one more, and I was kind of in between 2 fragrances, between the one that I got and between Rose Omiat, and I kept going back and forth. I couldn't decide. I knew I only wanted one more, at least for now, from this house, and I just couldn't decide which one to go with. And finally, I made my decision, and I decided to go with Rouge Surrey. And I am so thrilled that I chose this one because, to be honest, I know this is my favorite from Atelier des Ors that I've tried so far. And this is definitely one of my best discoveries this year. I am loving this fragrance. Okay, before I go any further, let me show you, but you've seen this packaging already, so I won't spend too much time on it. Inside the first black box, you have another black box. There we go. Very luxe packaging, as you would expect with a niche fragrance, especially the one that costs quite a lot. And so the bottle is inside. As you can see, the cap is black, so this is part of the black collection, and you still have the typical gold flakes inside. So the notes in here are dates, plums, cinnamon, vanilla, patchouli, woody notes, Peru balsam, sandalwood, jasmine, and heliotrope. And this is a stunning, stunning fragrance. When I first spray it on, I really get strong plums with vanilla and with some spices, probably from cinnamon. As it starts, it is, and I get woods as well. So definitely woody notes are coming through. Now, as it starts drying down, the plums are kind of going in the background, and the dates are coming forward a lot more. And also initially, the vanilla is quite strong and quite sweet. And when it dries down, the vanilla kind of becomes smoother and lighter and creamier. And it just becomes this incredible combination of dates, cinnamon, and vanilla with some woody notes and plums in the background, and it just amazingly beautiful. Like I said, I think this is my favorite from Atelier des Ors. The performance is outstanding. I'm enjoying every stage of this fragrance from the beginning to the end. And in my opinion, this is kind of it reminds me of a combination of two other fragrances that I have. If I combine the sweet dates from Nia, from Juliet Mad, with the kind of a creamy, buttery vanilla from Nishane Ani, I'm sort of getting this. Now, don't get me wrong, this is not a dupe or even similar fragrance to the other two that I mentioned. This is a standalone fragrance that's different from the other two, but it kind of reminds me of a mix of those two. Like if I mix them together, I would sort of get a similar vibe to Rouge Surrey. This is a stunner. I would also say that if you love sweet vanilla or sweet fruity scents or gourmand scents and you're wanting to try something from this house, in my opinion, although overall there's no such thing as a safe blind buy, but we still all do it. And so if I could recommend one fragrance as probably the safest blind buy out of everything that I've tried, at least, I would say that this one is the safest blind buy from this house. This is a gem of a fragrance. For some reason, a lot more people talk about Lune Filine and a few others from the house. Not so many talk about this one, but in my opinion, like I said, this is really my favorite. Although I like the other two, but this one is really the best for me. I've been enjoying this one so much. Next, I have another very exciting acquisition. This is from the house of Kerosene. And as you know, I already have Unknown Pleasures, which I'm completely obsessed with. Again, it has become one of my top favorites very quickly. And so, of course, I needed to try something else from this house. And I have been very much into coffee scents this fall. And so, as it turns out, Kerosene has a coffee scent, which is called Follow. And that's what I purchased. So as you already know, their fragrances come in these black pouches. So let's take it out. The bottle looks exactly like Unknown Pleasures. All of their bottles look the same. I really love the look of these bottles. Very simple, very clean. Very industrial kind of looking. I absolutely love it. And so, like I said, this fragrance is about coffee. So what else do we have in here? We have roasted coffee beans, tonka, vanilla, amber, benzoin, and maple sap. And if you really love coffee and if you're looking for a coffee scent, I think this is the coffee scent to beat all other coffee scents. I mean, if you think, scents like intense cafe or deluxe or coffee scents, forget it. They're nothing compared to this coffee scent. This is truly a coffee scent. This is roasted coffee beans is what you get. You get such a blast of coffee beans. This is like espresso, freshly brewed espresso. It is so powerful. It just really wakes you up. It pulls you out of whatever maybe gloomy or whatever mood you're into. This will pull you out of it. It is so refreshing, but in a wake you up kind of way. I don't know if I'm making any sense. Hopefully I am. This is an incredible blast of coffee. You also get the sweetness. As it starts drying down, the sweetness is coming through. So you're getting vanilla, you're getting maple sap, and maybe a little bit of tonka. I'm not sure that I'm really getting tonka in here, but what I've noticed now that I've tried two fragrances from this house is that they have a similar base. I don't know if it's vanilla or if it's vanilla in combination with something else, but it gives me at least the effect of slight condensed milk vibe, which I've told you I get in Unknown Pleasures, and I get it a little bit in here as well. It is definitely not as strong. It is definitely less so because it is just not as sweet as Unknown Pleasures. This is really about coffee, but when it dries down, you get that type of sweetness that has a slight element of condensed milk. And for me, I'm loving this kind of base, loving it. So this is another huge winner for me. I enjoy the smell of coffee, and like I said, I have been especially craving it this fall. So this fragrance is absolutely perfect. So for those of you who really want to try a true coffee scent, this is the one to try. I mean, this is a coffee scent that beats all other coffee scents, at least the ones that I have tried. Absolutely amazing. So far, I have two huge winners from this house. I'm not sure if I want to try anything else from this house at this point. I have looked and researched other fragrances, and there is honestly only one other that sort of caught my attention. I'm not sure if I'm going to purchase it at this point or not. I'm quite happy with the two that I have for now, but both of these are amazing scents. So this is another huge winner in my books. Next, I'm going to share with you two fragrances from the same house, and there's a bit of a story here. Now, the house I'm talking about is Shay and Blue, and the first fragrance that I purchased from them is Salt and Caramel. And this was not a blind buy. I've had a sample of this fragrance for probably almost a year, and I loved it. It just took me some time to purchase it. And I ordered this from a US site that I've never ordered from before, and I can't remember the name of it now, to be honest. But I remember they carried this house and they were having some kind of sale and they were shipping to Canada. So I thought, okay, this is a perfect opportunity to purchase from them. But this was my first and last time purchasing from them because shipping took close to 2 months. And I mean, I've ordered things from US, from other companies. They definitely take some time, especially, you know, given that there are delays now, but nothing has ever taken this long. I don't know why it took this long. And for that reason, I will not be purchasing from them again because, you know, I think 2 months from US is a little excessive, but whatever, it arrived. So here's the box. So this bow kind of comes off, and then the fragrance is in here. Here we go. Let's take it out. I mean, the bottle is quite light. The cap is also light. I mean, I don't know if this is glass or not. To me, it feels like plastic because it is so light, but it looks quite nice. So like I said, this is salt and caramel, which I have tried before. Now the notes in here are just like the name suggests. There is caramel, sea salt, tonka, and sandalwood. And although it is a simple scent, it is stunning. I absolutely love it. And I have been wearing it more than I expected to wear it. I spray it all the time. Especially, I love spraying it in the evening or before going to bed. There's something so comforting about this scent. It just smells like salty caramel. That's really what you get out of it. It is very sweet and it is very salty and it is absolutely delicious, and I love, love, love this scent. Yes, it is simple, but it is still beautiful. It doesn't mean that every scent has to be overly complex or complicated. There are a lot of simple scents that I love, and this is definitely one of them. So after I ordered this scent and I really wanted again to try something else from this house, and I looked at different fragrances and I kind of settled on the one that I wanted to order. But of course, I wasn't going to order through this site. I decided to try ordering directly from Shay Blue, which is a UK company, and it got to me in about a week and a half from UK compared to 2 months from US. There you go. So the second fragrance that I ordered from this house is called Black Tulip. So here's the box. Right away, you can see that the box looks slightly different. I mean, you still have the blue aesthetic of Shay Blue, but it looks different. And I was really surprised that the bottle inside looks different as well. So here's the inside. Let me take out the bottle. So here's the bottle. You can see it looks different. Let me show you the first one so you can see it clearly. So you can see the label is different and the cap is different as well. So I am guessing they went through rebranding. I had no idea, but apparently they did. So this is slightly weightier. So maybe this is now glass. And the cap is weightier as well. So it does look like sort of a better quality. Although I have to tell you that I really, really sort of dislike this label. It just looks like some kind of medicine bottle. I don't know. This label looked so much better to me. But it doesn't matter. It's just that I have slight OCD and I really don't like the two bottles look slightly different now. I was hoping they would look the same, but that's besides the point. That's my own issues. So let's look at this fragrance. Like I said, this is called Black Tulip. And the notes in here are snowdrops, cyclamen, white chocolate, plum, tulip, and woody notes. And I mainly, I think, was attracted to this fragrance because it had white chocolate in it, and I wanted to have kind of a chocolate-centric scent in my collection because I don't know if I have anything that's really that chocolatey, and definitely nothing that has white chocolate. And so that's why I ordered this one. Now, this one was not love at first sniff because when I sprayed it first, what I got mostly, more than anything else, was plums. This was pure plums to me. And then other things started coming out. So white chocolate, tulip. I don't really know snowdrops and cyclamen, what they smell like, so I can't really comment on that. But it was very strong plum, and then other things started coming out. And I originally tested it on a blotter. And so after the initial kind of a spray, I thought, whoa, this really looks like a miss for me. But then in the evening, I decided, okay, I really need to try it on my skin. Let me try it in the evening before going to bed. If I really don't like it, well, I don't have to suffer through it for too long. I'll fall asleep and then it'll be gone the next morning. And when I sprayed it on my skin, it just started opening up. Yes, I still get a strong plum at the beginning, but I get a lot more white chocolate, and it's coming out much faster than it did on the blotter. And it mixes with plums so beautifully. It sort of again reminds me of some kind of chocolates that I had back in the day. Like you have those dried plums or prunes, I don't know what the proper name is, and they're covered in milk chocolate. I don't know if any of you have tried those, but I have certainly tried those back in the day. This is kind of what it reminds me of. It is really, really beautiful. So there is a little bit of tulip. Like I said, maybe there are some other floral notes, but there definitely everything else is in the background. This is about dried plums covered in milk chocolate. It is beautiful, has excellent performance. Actually, both of these have excellent performance, good lasting power, good projection. I am really enjoying both of these. So this was love at second sniff, let's call it that. It is absolutely beautiful, and I highly recommend trying both of these. If you love sweet gourmand scents, both of these are stunning. And we're left with one last purchase, and this is a really interesting one. This was actually not a purchase. This was my husband's present for our wedding anniversary, which we celebrated in October. Of course, he asked me what I wanted. That's typically how it works. And this is a fragrance that I looked at for a very, very long time, and I kept putting it in and out of my cart so many times. I was just afraid to purchase it, and I've tried ordering a sample many times as well, but for some reason I had really hard time finding a sample of this. So this was a blind buy. And this is a very boozy fragrance, a fragrance that features a very strong note of whiskey, and I don't like a smell of whiskey. And that's why I was scared to try it. But I've watched so many reviews and I've read so many reviews, and I was just so curious about it, especially because I have been, again, getting really into boozy types of scents this fall. So I finally decided, okay, I have to risk it and I have to try it. I just keep thinking about this fragrance, keep putting it in my cart. I just have to try it. Now, I'm talking about Baraonda from Nasomatto. So let me open it. Pretty, simplistic packaging. I like it. Let's open it here. Here's a bottle. This is 30 ml. I think all of the fragrances from this house come in 30 ml, and they're all extrait de parfum. So here's the bottle, and there is another little cap here that if you want to travel with this, you can take off this big cap and put the little one on. So let me show you the bottle again. This is made from cork, I think. So this is very light. Again, the presentation and the bottle, I really love. So the notes in here, we have, as I said, whiskey. We have woody notes. We have amberette, ambroxan, rose, and musk. And so I was so worried that this will smell like pure whiskey, which I don't like. Well, I'm happy to tell you it does not. This is a stunner of a fragrance. Now, of course, there is booziness in here. So is it whiskey? When my husband smelled this, and he really enjoys having a glass of whiskey once in a while, he said it does smell like whiskey to him. But when I smell it, to me, it's not so much about whiskey. There's definitely a boozy element in here, but to me, it smells more like a highly fermented red wine. I don't know. Is there such a thing? Again, I'm not an expert in alcohol, but that's sort of what it feels like to me. So you definitely get a boozy vibe, but you also get ambroxan. And what I get is, there's definitely sweetness in here, and what I get is like there are some dried fruits in here as well. So it is boozy, it is slightly sweet, and it has dried fruits. There is some woodiness in here as well, so it's like, alcohol, whatever you call it, I don't know, whiskey or wine, it's been, brewing or fermenting in some kind of barrel. That's sort of what it smells like. It is a really fun fragrance. It doesn't, I've heard some reviews where people say that it just smells like you've been drinking for days, or you know, you came out of a bar where everybody was drinking. I don't get that kind of vibe. There's definitely booziness to this, but it's a beautiful type of booziness. It just mixed up with a little bit of sweetness and a little bit of dried fruits, and I absolutely love it. Again, I'm so happy that I finally decided to risk it and tell him to get this one as a present for me. I love it, love it, love it. It is beautiful. It has good performance, and I was expecting it to be really loud, and it's not very loud. Like, it's there, it's present, you can smell it. It's not a skin scent, but it is also not a huge beast, which is, I think, perfect for this type of scent. So if you enjoy boozy types of scents, again, I would definitely recommend this. This is definitely unisex, both. My husband and I enjoy this fragrance, and I have a feeling he's gonna be stealing it from my collection once in a while, because he really enjoys it as well. So this is another winner in my books. So that's the end of this haul. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, please remember to give me a thumbs up and subscribe, and definitely let me know what have you been purchasing lately, and if you have experience with any of the fragrances that I have showed you today. Thank you for watching. I will see you soon in my next video. Bye.